No. The only copy of Sands of Time I had was for GBA. And while it was a decent copy, there was like a point where I got stuck and like I had the tiniest bit of sand left. So I could like I did the jump, but he'd like run halfway up the wall and like run out of stamina and fall. And then I could rewind and he'd go halfway up the wall and then just go,
man.
It was like a loop of death. And I'm like
a soft lock.
I either completely restart this level or I just quit here and you know what? I'll play something else. And I never went back to it.
GBA one. That's interesting. I've seen that in some comparison videos just as somebody like throwing out a version of that. The GBA. Welcome to the Game Boy Advance. I think I got all my acquisitions here. A couple. Interesting.
Yeah, I've got some acquisitions, but they're on the way. They still have not yet arrived.
En route acquisitions.
Holy shit, that's still sealed. Okay.
Would you find that you still have still sealed?
I was talking with my new worker
peer,
and since talking it up, telling him about the remake of Black Flag, he got really interested and he's been looking at a lot of stuff, and it comes out fairly soon. And
this is week, right?
I was like, that's one of the ones to play. I was like, it's very close, whether it's 2 or Black Flag, 2 or 4. Like those are it for me. Like
top
those are the definitive. I was like, that whole Ezio collection is really good, but I think I really like 2. And he's like, oh, well, I never played either of those. What did he say? He played the one in London. He's like, and it was a guy and a girl. I'm like, okay, Syndicate. I was like, I've not played that one. He said he played that one and he played, I think he said Valhalla. I was like, okay, so you've had completely different
odd sprinklings of access.
And I was like, I was like, if nothing else, I was like, get that Black Flag remake. That'll be a good one for you. I was like, and we got to find you a copy of the Ezio collection. And I just happened to be, I was looking them up today. They're like $15-$20. They're really not expensive, even sealed. And I just like looked at mine. I'm like, hold on, and it's still sealed over here, as well for PS4. So
re-released so many times. Like PS3 got the Americas collection and like the Ezio trilogy. Like they got re-release after re-release. You said 2 and 4 like your top ones. I was like, oh, are we talking about Uncharted now?
Yeah,
it's like veered over into Uncharted territory.
Same.
Yeah. I've been
those are up there for me too.
I've been kicking around with that 3D plasma I got. I played through Uncharted 3 one time on PS3 when it came out. I just like sat down and played through it. I never played the PS4 remaster. It's like, do I want to play through that one in 3D again on PS3? I remember that one being good, but 2 and 4. So it's like picking a bad Metroid game, right?
This is what you got to do.
Yeah,
motion compatible and 3D compatible. You just got to go for it, man.
I've started that first one so many times. Remember, was it last year when it came out on PS5 and I was playing the shit out of it when Cesar did?
Yep.
With the rewind and everything, and I got stuck on some stupid mini game. Dude, I get stuck in a game and I will try it and I will try to get through it, and then I'm just like, fuck this. That's where I'm at on another one that I'm going to talk about. But I powered through. Maybe old games are teaching me something, because I powered through on Medal of Honor and I powered through on James Bond when I was like, fuck this. I was right there again. I was like, this sucks. I got so many other things I could do. It's not this, but I don't know. Maybe I look back at that one, but that rewind on the PS5 one is so nice when you fuck up something and you can just go right back to 10 seconds before and give it another go.
Yeah. I beat the first one all the way through.
On PS2,
And
or you played that PS3 3D one?
I played it on Vita. I played it on
Mm.
Vita, man.
Yeah, when those were all cross by.
And um gosh, what was it? I got most of the way through 2 and stopped playing. I don't know why. So probably something else came out and drew my attention.
I kind of feel like,
Because I
and
did.
with some of these stories that aren't, they're not like, if you play Sly Cooper 2 before 1 or Jack and Daxter 2 before 1 and you catch on to that one and play through it, what lore are you really missing out on? Like,
Yeah.
I have this stuck in my head, like, beat the first one, but they made so many different advancements and improvements on some of these sequels. It's like, okay, just go back and play 2 or 3 and then go back and play those if you feel like it. Just play the game for its own thing. I get in my own way with that kind of stuff. And then I that's the ones I replay over and over and over and over. I've played Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. I've started this game a million times. Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper. I've never played Sly Cooper 2 or Sly Cooper 3 or Ratchet and Clank 2 or Jak 2, you know? And it's like I get stuck and like, oh, I can't keep going.
I know I beat the first Ratchet and Clank and then started the second one, and that one, I don't know, I was losing steam on it, and then again something else came out. Me and Cesar both had the same complaint about Jak 2. Is like Jak 1 felt like the perfect evolution from like Crash Bandicoot to now that's like this new thing. It's still like somewhat familiar as a 3D platformer, but it's way more open. You know, there's way more storytelling to it.
Power of the PS2, like a PS2 Crash.
Oh gosh, and it's somewhat of a collectathon, yes, with the precursor orbs. Nowhere near like a Donkey Kong 64 or anything, but
Banjo-Kazooie.
like the variety in the variety in gameplay where you can like jump on the little vehicle and stuff, and it was so good. And then like to go from that and then immediately go to 2, and it's so much grittier and darker and heavily influenced by Grand Theft Auto 3
GTA 3 effect
released. Yeah. So it was just kind of a whiplash, like, whoa, this is not what I thought I was gonna go into,
that pivot.
So it's one of those things where people talk about Jak and Jak 3 really belovedly, but I'm like, maybe I just got to go back to it after I've taken some time, not go straight into it after 1, because it's just a completely different game.
Those are 3D as well. Play through those 3D. I'll loan you the little 3D PlayStation TV. You can play them as God intended in 3D.
Yeah.
As God intended, with your eyes crossed. And the glasses. Now I'm in 2 different glasses ecosystems because that plasma I got, it doesn't take the Sony ones, so it's like active shutter ones versus the whatever those other ones are. But you can't replace the batteries, or you have to like resolder the batteries in those Sony ones. So it's kind of nice to have a solution that's the other ones are like you turn a little corner thing and it's just that watch battery style. It's a CR, it's not a 2032, it's a 2025, which is interesting. But I've got 2 pairs of glasses with 4 pairs with those, and then 2 pairs that are just a USB micro that charge, straight into the glasses. But that charge lasts so much longer than those PlayStation ones too. I hate like old dead tech that's also a bitch to keep up with, like iPod batteries. Like, yes, I want an iPod video. No, I don't want to fuck with trying to replace this battery and never having this thing sealed back properly again. Right to repair, man. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I guess we're gonna get to that with the Switch a little bit with this news. Yeah. All right, ready to do this thing? We got 4 people here with us.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
let's fucking
knock it out.
Let's do this.
Do the damn
the show.
thing.
Charles back with us, or just craving more gears. Grind.
Man, that Gears was so damn good.
Yeah, I could be playing Gears again easily. That was a crowd pleaser. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 404 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and not found error podcast. That's right, 404. You haven't found us, and we're definitely not in Atlanta. No, we're in Atlanta, and we're very glad that you found us. But 404 is a good, a double pun there for us, specifically for us, right, Brant?
Exactly, because that does happen to be a area code as well as an error code.
And an error code. Error code.
Error code.
It works both ways. You said some people use that pun on
stroke.
Only hear one or the other.
Yeah.
404, not found.
Some people don't get it. 404, not found, baby.
Are we not found? No one has found us. Actually, lots of people have found us.
Come find us.
Come find us. I think this song goes differently than that. But I will not be singing the rest of the show. We have some news for you. Brant, we're going to try to stay upbeat for this one. Video game industry news has not been positive.
We don't have
quite some time.
Anything negative to talk about this week.
We have a lot to discuss. And we will put our positivity spin upon this. And then I think this behooves us in that we do news and then games played, because then we can end in positivity and it drives us back into the doom and gloom of next week's episode. It seems like, right? Do we not tumble from the excitement, the highs of ending an episode into whatever morbid industry news kicks off the next week's show? It's just been downhill since E3, essentially. It's been, nothing has been like a positivity. We need a shining beacon. We need Jeff Keighley more now than ever before. We need him to come bursting forth and shine his video game industry joy upon us. What can Jeff Keighley do for you? If you're rubbing the Jeff Keighley lamp and he comes flying out of there with Kojima in tow, what is he gonna grant? Ooh. What wishes is he gonna grant young Brant McKee?
Physical media forever.
Okay.
Done. That's all I care right now.
All right, that's your one wish. It's done. Physical media forever. You've gotten there. Right to repair would be a pretty cool one.
Yeah, that's up there.
I would like a Steam machine for my friends. Like anybody that I know.
Yeah, about to say, how about affordable gaming?
Yeah. Wages, proper wages and hours and such for all those in the gaming industry. And I think we'll start getting a healthy cadence of releases, and, you take care of your workers, you get better work. I think I've experienced that firsthand in my career.
Yeah.
Bad environments I've been in got the very bare minimum out of me, no matter kind of what industry it was in, versus somebody who fosters you and looks after you. And in this industry now, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So that's not really like stability for the creators of this content that we all enjoy. Brant, we got some news tonight. We have your July PlayStation Essential and Game Pass games. Nintendo Switch being discontinued? ? They sold a lot of those. Why would they stop? The Xbox, quote, reset, end quote, has begun. And why is everyone mad at Sony? ? I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
Brant, how goes it? Are you still loving those old video games like Jim Ryan wanted you to?
I'm absolutely loving those old video games, despite Jim Ryan. Grumpy ass.
Despite Jim Ryan wondering why anyone would want to preserve and keep around Gran Turismo's 1 through 3. I wonder if he had a hard cutoff. Like, there should have been a follow-up to that. Like, we took the hard, no one would play these games, and we've been riffing off that for, 4 or 5 years now on the show. What would the follow-up have been? Like, okay, where do we cut this off at? What do you consider an old game? What do people not need to play? Would he have cut off Gran Turismo Sport? Would he have cut off Gran Turismo HD Prologue? Where's that cutoff for him?
I I could get his if his answer was like the one video game people should not play is ET for the Atari
Oh
2600,
God.
but
It's
like
funny.
most other games, a lot of other games are worth playing.
Someone said on Threads, it's so funny you mentioned that. Someone on Threads said, with the video game industry the way it is now, what we really need is a video game adaptation of Steven Spielberg's film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I'm like, here we go. What are you asking for here? You know what you're saying.
Landfill.
you know what you're doing here. That's a very specific game for you to reference. Have you ever played E.T. for the 2600?
No.
I happen to have a copy, so if we ever need to break out
no.
ET for Atari 2600, I do have a copy, a non-landfill copy. I had my copy when the landfill ET copies were just a rumor. Brant, what game would you what would you round up and put in a landfill? One title. You get to pick one game and throw it in a landfill. What's your landfill game? What's your landfill game? What are you banishing into a landfill? Whatever this one is, you loathe this one, whatever it is. Do you hate something enough to have a landfill game?
I don't know if I do. There are certain games I'm not particularly a fan of, but I've never been like, oh, like I'm not a huge fan of RTS games.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say round up StarCraft and throw it in the dump.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's just not for me.
Take it to the New Mexico desert.
It's not my bag, baby. You know.
Ooh, I have a landfill game. Round up every single copy.
Ooh, you do.
Destroy them. Field destroy in the desert, in the rainforest. I don't care which biome.
I think I might know.
What is your inkling? What do you think it might be?
It doesn't have a 0 in it.
Perfect Dark, Zero Fun. I was gonna start spilling out. that is my landfill game. Absolute dog shit. One day I'll stream this. One day I'll redeem Perfect Dark Zero Fun, and I will play 0 hours of thrilling content, and it will be forever immortalized on Twitch and YouTube.
I'm about to say there are even people that like Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, and this, that, and that. I have not ever seen anybody waxing poetically about Perfect Dark Zero. Honestly, I've never heard anybody going on and on about how great a game it was. So
there's nothing. Maybe it's time to give it another go. Maybe time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
Old wounds.
Maybe revisiting it. Revisiting it now. You might be in like, you know what? Yeah, it's not great, but it's not that bad.
It's not an actual landfill game. How many players can play that campaign? Keyboard's not working.
It's a good question.
Because I'm gonna throw out there.
I'm about to say we all have rare replay.
We all have rare replay, and we all have some form of, I won't even call it Game Pass. I'll call it Xbox Live Gold again. Let's see. Quick Google search and see what we arrive on. Perfect Dark Zero campaign. 2 players in local split screen or online cooperative mode.
So only.
Yeah, it's only 2 players.
Yep.
I mean, so somebody out there is willing to suffer with me through Perfect Dark Zero Fun.
I will take a bullet.
We're gonna do this potentially.
Why the hell not?
Have you played Perfect Dark? Have you played through Perfect Dark's campaign?
Oh, I remember playing parts of it, but you got to remember, I'd never owned a 64 as a kid.
Okay.
And I've gone back and played some 64 games, but that is one that I still have not ever like 100% gone through. Okay. I've heard the that one on the rare replay is the one to kind of play if you're going to.
Was it 4J Studios, I think, was who developed that one? It's so good. Friend of the show, Mark's Knight, and I played through that maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, in 2 or 3 sittings. Played through that campaign and just loved every second of it. And that version plays so well. Yeah, maybe
Well,
we
that
do
was
that
their that was
first.
a perfect evolution of the 007.
Yeah.
That was gonna be their next one if they got the license, but they didn't.
They didn't want to do another Bond. They were done. They did not want Bond again. And that one came out so GoldenEye came out what,
Yeah.
year or 2 years after the movie. They had seen that through everything they wanted to do, so they were ready to take the crack at a new universe. And it's good, man. That game is so good. I'm playing these old first-person shooter campaigns, and that still holds up. It's right up there with that one. Yeah, that would be a good time. Then we try fucking Perfect Dark Zero Fun, the prequel.
We'll take a crack at it, man.
Prequel.
I'll suffer.
Oh boy. That's my landfill. That's our landfill games. You have nothing, Brant? You wouldn't round up anything? StarCraft. That's your hot take. Now the internet's gonna come after you. We heard you say StarCraft. We heard you say round up every copy of StarCraft, even the co-op split screen 64 version that was so good. Put it in a landfill.
I said, do not. I would not round up.
Jack 2? Is that your landfill game? You were talking about that in the pre-show a little bit. That hard pivot. Do you hate a crash? What is a game that
I was just like, man, this is absolute dog shit. This needs to go away. This game sucks.
Perfect Dark Zero. What's your Perfect Dark Zero? What's your landfill game?
If I think of one, I will update.
Is there any really bad
at the moment I can?
I mean, an easy one. I've never played these. They're just infamously bad as those CDI Zelda games. That would be an easy candidate for a landfill game, but I've never played those. I can't, you know, they're easy to dump on, but I've never personally experienced their heinous nature. Yeah, oof.
Yeah. I've never played any of those, and they're all bad, so it's like that's a gimme. I was thinking of more games I've played or tried even.
One of the Bubsies. Could you draw Cesar's ire and pick a Bubsy title? Cybermorph?
I don't know.
Have you played Cybermorph for Jaguar?
Oh gosh.
Is that a landfill game? That's a good landfill game. No redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
So a landfill game is like
you might be right.
Super hyped.
You might be right.
Just like E.T. Super hyped. No redeeming qualities everywhere. Pack in, big holiday seller, launch title in my opinion, rare game, like it had a pedigree behind it. Landfill. Yeah. This is our genre.
This is the game for the Oh my gosh, yes, I've played Cybermorph. You're right. That is
Cybermorph.
Few and far between.
Game sucks.
There are only a handful of titles for the Jaguar that are halfway decent, but Cybermorph is the absolute worst.
Head and shoulders above anything of dog shittery. It's way up there.
Where did you learn to fly?
Oh my god.
Just constantly.
Nightmare.
The little weird AI bald head thing. Where did you learn to fly?
Oof. Some movie tie-ins, maybe. I guess E.T. is the bar there that kind of sets that pedigree, but I'm sure there's some that could wasn't there an Atari game that was based off like Purina? It was like Puppy Roundup, or am I fever dreaming this?
I don't know.
There's like some sort of
it would make, you got to think back in the day. There was like they had tie-in games for everything.
Yeah.
McDonald's had its own several games.
Well, like a Ronald McDonald NES, like Ronald McDonald's Funhouse or something.
And then there was like was it Mac and Mac? That's what it was called or something? Like it was two kids.
In a Ronald McDonald's chasing them.
I don't remember.
Right, you actually just described Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, the plot behind that.
Michael Jackson.
that hit Genesis arcade game. Is that gonna get us is my awful humming of that gonna get us a cease and desist potentially from the estate? Oh man, that'd be a good one to get. A video game knockoff rendition of Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Smooth Criminal got us a cease and desist letter. That would be infamous.
Oh, okay. So it was It was just MC Kids.
Okay. I've never heard of that. Is it
There
Mick
was
Kids? Is that the name
McKids.
of it?
It's just M.C.Kids.
Oh, that's
But
weird.
it's, yeah, I guess it could be McKids. McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, McDonald's video game.
My
Grimace's
keyboard is not working on
birthday.
my iPad. It throws me off every time. Sorry.
Global Gladiators. Donald Land. What the hell is Donald Land?
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a 1988 platforming video game produced by Data East in association with the McDonald's Corporation for the Family Computer.
A Data East game. All right, here's where my Purina puppy chow thing, Fever Dream, came from. You ready for this?
And it was Mick and Mac, the Global Gladiators.
What was that for?
On there. Mick and Mac, Genesis.
That was a Genesis title.
Yep.
Is it super expensive? I might need to see if I have this one sitting around somewhere.
I don't know. I can look that up.
The Fever Dream Purina game is called Chase the Chuck Wagon. Have you ever heard of this? Chase the Chuck Wagon.
I have not.
From Wikipedia, 1983 promotional video game written by Mike Schwartz for the Atari 2600 and distributed by Purina. It was available only via mail order by sending in proofs of purchase to Purina. I'm going to skip all the way to the bottom of the article. Legacy. Chase the Chuck Wagon is far from the rarest game for the Atari 2600, but it is often referred to as the holy grail of Atari 2600 video game collecting. So I may have inadvertently labeled this a landfill game, but only because of it sticking in my head as a rare one. Chase the Chuck Wagon, the Purina game. Who would have thought, Brent?
Oh,
McDonald's video
I'm
games.
seeing Mick and Mac Global Gladiators for the Sega Genesis. $15, $9, $10.
Oh, so not super expensive.
Like it is.
It is not Chase the Chuck Wagon.
It is not very expensive at all.
Cybermorph, Perfect Dark Zero. That's our landfill games. Atari ET.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Atari ET 2600.
That's a literal landfill game.
It is. It is the landfill game.
It was literally found in the landfill.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this news, Brant. July's 3 PlayStation Plus free essential monthly games. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com. All 3 games are available starting today, right? They're already up 7/7 as of recording. Yes. Those titles are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, specifically the cross-gen bundle, meaning you can play it for PS5 and PS4. For the King 2, an RPG that blends roguelite and tabletop gameplay. That is also available for PS5 and PS4. And finally, the third game in July's offering, Chris Scullion notes, is Crosscode, a retro-inspired 2D action RPG, which is also available for PS5 and PS4 owning subscribers. Pretty cool that they're like cross-gen, all 3 of these, right? You can get a SKU for each one. And I'm certainly happy to get my digital PlayStation games because that's a unified storefront, and I'll know I'll have those forever because I really and truly own them. Right, Brent?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Get those starting today. Next up, Brent, what's coming to Game Pass? Feigned optimism.
Plenty is coming to Game Pass, sir. So for the month of July here, the beginning, we'll just run through these. Winds of Arcana Ruination is already out. Okay. Gears of War Reloaded is coming July 9th. Tamashika is coming July 9th as well. Ascend to Zero, July 13th. BPA Pro Bowling.
Ooh. 2026.
Coming July 14th.
The newest one. Is it just a roster update or is there like some new mechanics? Find out.
I don't know. You probably have to play the other BPA Pro Bowlings to get the continuing storyline, honestly.
1 through 2025.
Yeah. Quarantine Zone, The Last Check
Okay.
July 15th. Mavericks by Matt Jones is coming July 16th.
Hmm.
Fix Force, July 17th. Frog Piercer, or Fog Piercer, whoops,
Fog Piercer.
July 17th. Uh,
What are these
then we have
games?
the Planet Crafter,
Of course.
July 21st. And last but not least, coming July 21st as well, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Oh, here's one I've heard of.
Um, there are some updates that they notably is just Pow World 1.0.
Yeah.
In-game benefits, there's some stuff for League of Legends and Withering Waves. Then we get to leaving Game Pass. Um Oh, this one doesn't have the
Oh man,
date that they are leaving, but
some
it's
games are
usually
leaving a digital subscription service. That's crazy. I wish we owned these when we got them via these digital subscription services.
so we have Dungeons of Hinterberg.
I hear that's good.
EA Sports, yeah. EA Sports Football Club 24. Uh Stellaris Golf with Your Friends.
Oh.
Mnemonic Lane Power Wash Simulator Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Splitgate Arena Reloaded. Super Fantasy Kingdom and Tectonica.
Tectonica. We'll
And all of
play
those
Tectonica.
when it's Hanukkah.
As we play our harmonicas, we'll drink some gin and tonica and smoke that marijuana.
There you go.
As we play Tectonica.
Let me see if it's.
Yeah, these all see July
This article
2026.
does not say.
So Power Wash Simulator is on there as leaving Game Pass. I think that's being delisted on a bunch of different platforms.
I believe it is as well.
Because they're giving away the DLCs free on Steam and PlayStation and Xbox.
Those are all leaving July 15th.
Okay, so another week as of this recording that you could potentially play these titles, and then what if you play them, you get 10% off purchase, or is it maybe
something like that
to continue playing after they leave?
Discount.
A discount on your digital purchases that you've already purchased. Partial purchased. Peter Piper pickled, partial purchased digital purchases.
But let's look at something that's leaving the gaming market, at least in Europe.
Why would that be?
The Nintendo Switch.
Did it run out of batteries?
Discontinued out of the EU market here in 2027. This is basically to comply with the new European rules that they've got about repairability, mostly to do with replaceable batteries.
Yes.
They did also note that the Switch 2 will most likely see a hardware revision very soon over there to have replaceable batteries in at least the console. People are speculating on if it will be the Joy-Cons as well. But yeah, they are, as of 2027, going to discontinue the original Switch. I believe they also are discontinuing the NSO controllers as well over there, since those don't have a removable battery.
Oh, these are all fall under that regulation. Okay. Interesting. So essentially, they are leading the forefront on right to repair stuff, right? I think it was in the pre-shows talking about the 3D glasses, and the Sony ones have the batteries you have to solder off of there and renew batteries back on there, sort of thing. So they're going to stop selling the Switch Lite, and the Switch OLED in 2027 in the region. They're not going to send any to retailers, if I remember reading this right, and they're going to be available through their official Switch online store until 2028, I think, and then they're gonna stop, like totally cease, which is a good path into Switch 2 being the heir apparent and backwards compatible and all that sort of stuff. So there's no huge loss there preservation wise. And I am all for right to repair stuff. I'm looking at this iPhone down here that needs a new battery. It's going to cost me $100 to get Apple to open
Yeah.
my phone and put another one in there, and that's absolutely insane. This should not have to happen. There should be some sort of panel that I pop off and just replace that thing. It should not come to this. So
And you
I definitely
could take
applaud
it to
that
somebody else. They can repair it, but if Apple doesn't do it, then what? Like you lose the battery, like the battery percentage. You can't see the battery percentage ever again. Something weird or something.
You can, like I've seen, you can do it with Macs and stuff. Like there's ways to pop that in there. I think it's more just the warranty and knowing that a professional did it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
under their watch. And it's somewhat affordable. Like this battery's 4 to 5 years old, and it just now is getting to that point where it probably needs a replacement, but it's not as simple as just ordering something. Like I have to make an appointment at the Genius
Yeah.
Bar and go up there and be without the phone for a couple hours, and it shouldn't come to this. Those early smartphone batteries, you could just pop a panel off and pop a battery in and be good to go. I haven't checked in on or had an Android phone in so long. Can you just pop a battery in those?
No.
You still can't do it with those.
Everything's about the same.
They're
Yeah.
unibody. The advantage to those used to be expandable storage, right? You could just get the bare minimum onboard storage and pop an SD card or something in there. I don't know if that works that way anymore.
Oh yeah, it still does.
It still does. That's a huge benefit. The article goes on to note Nintendo Switch is closing in on the PS2 for all-time lifetime sales. The Switch is at 155.37 million units. Where's Andrew House when we need him with everything crashing and burning around the world? Evil units. With this milestone, Nintendo Switch's lifetime sales have officially overtaken those of its previous best-selling console, Nintendo DS, at 154.02 million. All-time, Sony's PlayStation 2 sits at 160 million units. It's unlikely the Switch will remain on sale in Japan for some time where the system still remains. It's likely the Nintendo Switch will remain on sale in Japan for some time where the system retains popularity in an effort to pass Sony's record. The mighty PlayStation 2. Brent, if Sony sold a brand new PlayStation 2, would you purchase one? That's probably a stupid question.
Of course. Of course.
I can recall when
Does it have a disk drive?
Yes, it does. It's brand new in the box, and it's
New old stock.
It's new old stock, but it's an improved. You know how the slim model will scratch discs like certain ones of those. It's like a perfect condition. It's the best. New capacitors, disk drive won't scratch your discs, all that sort of stuff. The ideal scenario PS2. How much are you paying for one of those?
Oof.
$199, $149,
$199. Yeah, $199 seems good.
There's plenty of other ones floating around out there. There's plenty of PS2s out in the world still. Apparently 160 million units worth. Next up, an update on the Xbox Studio closure. I think we started talking about this last week, right?
Everything was rumor speculation, but
Yeah.
it seems like most of the studios we were worried about are involved, but thankfully there's a happy medium, I guess, to those stories.
I think so. They don't have the security they had before, allegedly under Microsoft, right? But what security is that when the rug gets pulled out from underneath you from a company that reports
Right.
$155 billion in profit or something? Like, what are we doing here? This is a money game. But they appear to have a resolution on where they're going to go, what they're going to do. I don't think anybody's. I think one of them announced that they were going to be some closures job wise. Xbox confirms plans to cut 5 studios and thousands of jobs. I'm sorry, that is the update. Thousands of jobs. It comes from Andy Robinson of VGC, VideoGamesChronicle.com. Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Compulsion, and more will leave or be sold, but no closures have been announced. The 3,200 employees being let go are amongst it's amongst different Microsoft things, right? For the remaining Xbox business, 3,200 job cuts will be made throughout its financial year across departments, with some areas, such as its platform business, seeing more layoffs than others. According to Bloomberg, Bethesda is set to undergo a significant overhaul and will pivot to focus on its biggest franchises: Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein. But the article starts off with it's kind of a summary of the CEO, Asha Sharma's a note to staff. Double Fine and South of Midnight publisher Compulsion have effectively been released, so they are back on their own. So they had that job security being under the Microsoft umbrella for quite some time, but now they will be on their own thing. The companies will also be allowed to keep their IP, Sharma said, which is huge. Ninja Theory, who have made Senua, and Undead Labs, State of Decay Studio, have been sold, Xbox confirmed, but details on their buyers have not been disclosed because the deals have not yet been completed. I've seen like Threads announcements from both of those studios saying, hey, we're good. State of Decay 3, we're still working on it. Can't wait to show you what we got from Undead Labs. And Ninja Theory, apparently this E3 showing of them shopping their wares, it worked. So they've landed on their feet, hopefully without too many cuts. And finally, Marvel's Blade and Dishonored studio Arcane will also be divested from the Xbox business. Sharma confirmed, but details have not yet been shared due to requirements of French law. They have to go through like a litigation period for almost like a bankruptcy, I guess, like a Chapter 11 here. There's certain legal paths you have to go through for that announcement and reduction and plan. And I remember European, maybe it's a Europe thing, but this is specifically French law, it says. But I feel like there were, they call it, there was a term for it where they would dissolve these companies, and there were certain steps they had to go through, and pieces could be sold, or there was a chance that they could be acquired by somebody. And I feel like that helped out certain studios in the past that went through this.
Yeah.
Sharma said this is the most significant restructure in Xbox history. Just a recap of like all the acquisitions trying to pad Game Pass, and Game Pass didn't work. Essentially the stuff we've been talking about for years as this show has gone on, and we've coursed the process of what Xbox has tried to do with padding content and then padding subscriptions, and that didn't work, and studio acquisitions and then buying up everybody, and then it became an arms race for buying up studios. Is there anything else from this bit? Mojang and King was going to report directly to Asha Sharma, right?
Yeah. Mojang and King are reporting strictly to Asha Sharma.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed this article didn't say it, but I know I have heard that there's an additional like 1,600 layoffs planned very soon, and then possibly more later this year.
Yeah.
Layoffs.
That's where they came up with the 3,200 was 1,600 down, 1,600 later, I think. How did they decide that? Like, what metric do they go through? It's like, these 1,600 jobs are expendable. We do not need these individuals any longer, but I'll keep making my record profits and my $28 million salary or whatever it ends up being.
Well, they did cut some executives and managerial staff because they talked about how some of these studios had like 9 to 14 plus like management staff that was like overseeing and directing and like and it's like, why do you need that many people? Why do you need that many bosses? Like it doesn't even make sense.
And part of the new plan is to have like 3 to 5 management tiers max. Instead of having those multiples like you're talking about.
Yeah, but id Software their coding team got cut by 60 to 70 developers from Obsidian, it was saying.
Hmm.
Can't remember if there was any other, like you said. I know Bethesda's about to undergo some restructuring, so that probably means some layoffs over there.
It's across the board, right? Like nobody was safe across Xbox. There's no untouched
Mhm.
division. And some other ones have already been gouged, like, what are they just Halo Studios now? They weren't mentioned here, but they've got a game about to come
Yeah.
out. But they've gone through 343 had so many iterations and leadership changes. I hope they nail this one. I hope Halo Campaign Evolved brings Halo back to the collective gaming mindshare again. I don't think it'll ever be what we knew it as or know it as, but I'm hoping it has some sort of impact. Everything looks good so far.
Yeah.
Halo Gears,
Except for that
Forza,
third
Fable.
person.
Except for what?
Except for that third person mode.
Oh God.
Throw that in the landfill.
It's straight landfill. Halo third person is a landfill game. I'm putting it in there. Just specifically third person mode. We put that in the parentheses. I like our landfill game genre. It's pretty good. I'm sure we can think of some stinkers. I'm sure Cesar's got some candidates too.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Are we ready for this
Yeah,
portion of the news?
let's unpack this one. We've slowly spiraled into this discussion.
So, last week, Sony made a blog post, posted it everywhere, an update on physical media,
Yeah,
as well as
get us
other
kicked off on this one pretty good. Physical media, the thing we know and love, our games acquired.
So they put out a blog post, just kind of innocuously there, just threw it out there for the whole internet to enjoy. That's starting January 2028. They will no longer be producing physical discs. All publishers um will be available on the PlayStation Store and at select retailers in digital formats only. Um and they pawned it off on everybody, saying that this has been this is the response to the current changes in the industry, the trends of digital games just being the most purchased, outpacing physical media, leaps and
Like
bounds. And
overtaking it,
so,
right?
we're
Allegedly.
so yeah, so we're providing you with the lack of choice now, basically. Um and they said it was, yeah, as a consumer preference. Um as well as in the same breath as saying that all of our stuff will only be available on a digital storefront in the near future. Y'all remember that PS3 and Vita digital storefront that we've had and kept open? Yeah, we're closing that as well. Um, so it's interesting to
Which they've
say,
tried to kill
hey,
before.
we're only going to provide you with digital services to where you can, and a digital storefront to where you can buy these things. And by the way, we're closing a digital storefront to
Yeah.
where you can't go buy these things anymore. So, and I think I'm trying to get to another article here that I had. They did. It's come out that Sony did tell publishers that even after 2028 that they could still request discs be made, but it would have to be games that were already previously printed on discs, and not any new titles.
What is
Um
what gives? What's even different with that? What even is that? What does that mean? There's a
don't know.
lot to
So
unpack over these two pieces.
the PS3 store, PS3 and Vita store, it looks like will close in Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua in August 2026.
Mm.
Followed
Next
by
month.
additional Latin America and Middle Eastern countries in late 2026, where every other country will close in July of 2027. So they're basically giving you a year
12 months for us.
to get what you want off of that storefront if you don't live in those other first 5 areas.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot to unpack across all these different things. First off, the messaging. This was 3 paragraphs, which you summarized brilliantly on a blog post, and that's it. And since then, they have been absolutely fucking hammered by negativity.
Well, they've gone dark.
They haven't said a fucking thing.
I pulled up their social media today just with some coworkers, and they've had 2 posts. They posted about the new Fight Stick, and they posted about the PlayStation Plus games going live, the monthly games. And you go through the comments, you scroll, it is nothing but, man, fuck Sony. No physical games, no money. And it's like screenshots of people canceling their accounts. It like, oh, and that's the other thing. Didn't put it in news, but over the weekend, people were combing through terms of service, and found that Sony updated their terms of service not too long ago, and so now, it says that if you have not used your account for at least 36 months, we may take steps to close it. In that case, we will contact you via email address that's registered to the account and give you 6 months to either log into your account or contacting us telling us to keep the account open. And then the very next part underneath that paragraph, after your account is closed, you will not be able to access the PlayStation Online services or use any of the digital products purchased with that account. And then the very next sentence, account closure is irreversible. So, like, you can call and they may be able to work with you, but they said it's irreversible. Also, you may have an old email on your account that you never updated, or hey, maybe your email just randomly sent that one email to spam.
You never got that piece.
It could be anything from, you know what, I just don't want to play this PlayStation right now, and you pack it away. It could be you had a medical emergency and you were in a coma.
What I tell you, don't plan your coma ahead of time. Make sure it's not a 3-year one, not the 30.
Plan your coma accordingly.
The 3 year 6, or the 3-year 36-month coma.
Or hell, what if somebody goes to jail, by any kind of circumstance, by their fault or not,
Yeah.
And several years later, maybe they get out, or maybe that they're held in jail for however long and then get out years later after they're not guilty. Thank goodness. And now I go to try to play my PlayStation and wait a minute. All my shit's gone.
Yeah. And think back to that infamous PS4 E3 announcement about game sharing, remember? Shuhei and Adam Boyes just handing the disc. Was it Killzone Shadowfall? Here's how to loan games to your friends. If something happens to me, I have a very sizable digital library that could not potentially go to you, Brant, but all my PS4 games can, my PS3, PS2, PS1 games can. They'll be transferred,
and that
as soon as you could pick them up, essentially.
And that was all in response to Xbox, all with their online check-ins and DRM, and everybody got so angry about that.
It killed. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It killed
It
Xbox.
killed the momentum of
It
it
killed
killed the whole
Xbox.
momentum that Xbox had,
They
and
were
that whole generation
absolutely
suffered because of it.
flying high from that 360. And Xbox One is not a bad machine. It's still not a bad machine.
Yeah.
It's looking better and better as days go on. As my Series X appreciates in value, I might slip back to that One X and keep playing Old Man Halo on it.
Right.
Oh, I don't know.
But I mean, aside from certain people saying, "Oh yeah, physical media is dead," and or I've already been buying digital games and yada yada yada. A majority of the people actually see this for what it is, and it is the taking away of consumer choice. And once you do not have that physical option, um, it not only takes away choice, it takes away competition.
Yep.
I've seen video after video of people going through old 360 games or PS3 games, or hell, even, Resident Evil 4 remake or God of War Ragnarok, and
Astrobot.
you can buy these games secondhand for, sometimes $10 or something like that. The God of War games or the um Resident Evil, you find them like, 20,
Spider-Man.
$30. But then you go to the digital storefronts that PlayStation or Xbox have, and brand new, well, brand new, but digital licenses for those games at the lowest are 39. I
On
think God of
sale.
War Ragnarok even, yeah, God of War Ragnarok, they still want uh 74, I think. It's 60 or $70 for a
You've
digital license.
you've answered the majority of this because I've seen arguments propping up the benefits of physical sales, right? Like them saying that 85% of sales are digital now, but there's a strong majority of game sales that are only digital now. And so when you say 65% of Astrobot or Ratchet and Clank or 85% of those were digital, it's they're not saying specifically those. I think that so a lot of the data is pointing back to that 2023 Insomniac leak, right? And that's 3 years.
Yeah.
And in tech and console evolutions and life lines, life what am I trying to the console's life, just how long it's going to be on the market. That can be a pretty long time. What's that?
The life cycle.
Life cycle, lifespan. 3 years can be a long time. The live stream. 3 years can be a long time for that data to shift. But that point is right there because of those availability of those cheaper games, physical versus digital, like you're talking about. And that answer's right there. And it's been staring at us this whole time. It's kind of funny to see that argument propped up when they control that market. And so
yeah,
you don't have an option. And that's never been taken away. There's Netflix convenience, and it's gotten harder to get a new release. They're not as available. You can't walk into just Target, or you can't rent it for Blockbuster like that. It became less and less available, but there's still options. You can still buy a physical copy of one Battle After Another, or the new Trolls movie, or Spider-Man. This next Spider-Man is going to get a physical release on 4K Blu-ray. And we've seen Blu-ray numbers trending up, right?
Yep.
And we talk about this so much. I don't feel like this week is such a hot button for us, because not only have we seen this coming, we've been harping about this for a long time. We've been saying buy this stuff, get these physicals. You guys really support like limited run and stuff that do these smaller print runs of physical discs.
Here's the biggest problem though. They're using SKU numbers, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They point towards digital sales, but they don't separate what games only
are digital.
there's certain titles that only get a digital release. Not
Yeah.
all titles get a physical release.
No.
I sent you something, both you and Cesar in one of our threads about going back to that Insomniac leak, and it was Spider-Man um, sold 66% were on discs for that PS4,
Mhm.
and I'm assuming it's just that PS4 era, and that would have been 22.7 million copies. Miles Morales was 64% on disc, which was 11.1 million copies. Um, God of War 2018, 67% on disc, 8 million disc sales to the 4 million downloads
And these are
in
their
2023, mid
tentpole
2023.
these are their tentpole first party franchises. These are their huge releases, of which we've gotten down to like what, one per year? Now we're getting.
Yep.
God, I remember people crying during the
And
GameCube days when we had like a big Nintendo release every 2 to 3 months, like one quarter.
but this even goes into Astrobot. Astrobot launched at 55% physical. Spider-Man 2, 54%. So they're skewing the numbers, and it's
Yeah.
come out also that they're migrating. I'm sure this has something to do with it. They're not closing down some of their disc manufacturing plants. One of their biggest ones is in Austria.
Austria, yeah.
They are just retraining staff and reallocating resources to making some specialized optical lens, which they got a infusion of money to do. And guess what? Those optical lenses are used for like AI crap. So
Data center purposes. It feels like a bad
AI is ruining
gamble.
games, man.
It's a bad gamble on a temporary thing, right?
Right.
One of the so we all know that like just flat numbers don't lie, but we know that data sales and figures and things like that don't factor in some of the intangible things. Uh and we talk about this a lot, I feel, but this kind of hones in on the definition of why we play games. Um I went from loving games to being in games retail, and I think one of the things that doesn't show up on these data sheets and these sales percentages is what a physical space and physical media drives. Say a new Zelda, Twilight Princess, right? People are going to see that. They're going to be interested in pre-ordering it. But they're going to go in a store and they're going to put money down on it. And they may take old games and they may trade those in towards that. That's an affordability option. That's an accessibility option. They may also pick up another controller while they're in there. Someone else is going to play that game with them. They're going to spread that to somebody. While they're in the store, they're going to see an advertisement for something else that they didn't know was available. Or they're going to talk to the associate and it's like, hey, I see you're interested in Zelda. Have you tried this new Beyond Good and Evil game? It takes a lot of those elements, has some gameplay types, and then that's a piggyback sale, and that's something else they're interested in. And then they're playing Ubisoft games, and then they're trying out Splinter Cell. And I know that things have changed since those days when I was in games retail, but there's a community and an intimacy to sharing these games and being a part of these games together that you're not going to get on a PSN splash screen. You're just not. And it's not going to spread word of mouth. And influencers aren't going to carry that. And these people you ship all these collector's editions to and they review them on YouTube and get you clicks and likes and revenue from YouTube and kickbacks or whatever that is, it's not going to carry that same weight. And it doesn't. I feel like Halo's the perfect example of this. Halo is not that zeitgeist of what it was, in part poor management of studios and concepts and art design and chasing the newest trend and things like that. But it doesn't have that drive of community that it had before and defining what these things is. And instead of evolving, it devolved. Combat devolved into where we are now, where they essentially need a reboot. And so much is lost there. And whereas you don't have as much choice physically, but you may have more of a refined. If you go into, I'm not going to defend these big corporations because they're just corporations trying to get our money too, right?
Mhm.
But if you go into a Target, you go into a Walmart, you go into a GameStop, you may see somebody that's looking for what you're looking for, and they're, oh, have you played that? Oh, and these conversations that kick up
Mhm.
amongst a curated group of 40 to 50 games on a shelf versus how many are on PSN store right now that are vying for our attention, and
Yeah.
ads that flash before us and things that pop up, and just it's akin to like Netflix. There's so much on Netflix. You can't beat Netflix. You can't go through the
Yeah.
library of Netflix. You just get what rises to the top, and we've seen that kill Netflix studios over the years. Or how many times do they
Yep.
invest in something and you get one season or maybe two seasons and then nothing? The series is just
Gone.
dead. Yeah. And they
Mhm.
move on to the next thing. We've gotten so used to, as consumers, just being fed to consume and not having any context for the community of the consumption. And there's very few moments now that I feel like that just they pull us to a halt. Breath of the Wild brings everybody to a stop. And they're talking about
Mhm.
this new thing that you can carry around or you can hook up to your TV. And it just so happens to play this latest, greatest Zelda that everyone is talking about. And you just have to see it and you just have to play it. And we're so far from that. When is the last time we had that sort of all stop? Oh, there's a new Link to the Past sequel, and you turn into a painting and you go up against the wall. And the 3D is like
Mhm.
you've never seen anything like this. We got a demo over here. Come check it out. Just play the demo. You're gonna leave with this game. It's $40. You will not be
The
able
biggest
to.
the biggest thing lately is GTA, but even that is already immediately people started looking at it, one, because of the price, but two, wait a minute, no physical copy.
And they're backing away from. They were hand in hand with
And
Sony on
Sony,
some of this marketing stuff. Remember how we were joking
yeah,
about
the app,
the PlayStation app
the
looked
app,
like GTA 6? What Cesar called it, the
yeah,
Vice City app. They're like, don't you put us in, don't you lump our color scheme and
2
everything in with
days,
your negative
gone,
bullshit.
right?
Right back to the blue and white, right back to the Sony logo. It's
Oh,
maybe we've been dreading the end of this, I feel like, for a long time. And we've talked about maybe it's the unified library. Maybe we're not so afraid of that. Steam. We don't hesitate to purchase a game on Steam. Why is that? Because we know it'll work on the next Steam thing and the next thing that we buy that runs Steam and the Asus thing that we buy that runs Steam and the ROG thing and the Lenovo thing. And if it's a compatible video driver or graphics card or whatever, it's going to run the thing and we're not going to lose it. We haven't seen that proven from any of the other makers. That Xbox 360 digital copy you bought may or may not be backwards compatible in this new Xbox, this Series X thing. The PS3 digital copy, none of that was forward compatible, but they did so much goodwill on physical media, everybody forgot about that. Like, oh, it's okay, I'll just keep my PS3 hooked up next to my PS4, like so many of us did for a long time, or still do, right? I
yep.
kept them up side by side. A lot of people have talked about how great it is to have a backwards compatible PS3 next to a PS5. You have every PlayStation game available to you on two devices. That was huge outside of Vita and PSP.
And now, it's almost guaranteed that the PS6 will come out around 2028 and more than likely will not be backwards compatible with because it probably won't have a disk drive or
I have
but
no interest in that machine at its cost, and I have no interest in that
no.
machine at what it has to
I'm about to say
offer.
I'm looking at it as a plus. I'm not gonna have to spend
Yeah.
more than likely what's gonna be 1,000 or 1,000 plus dollars on a new PlayStation. And on your um topic of, driving that community and everything, I know me and you and Cesar, we've in the
Mm-hmm.
past few years, we probably take it for granted. We're able to buy just about every game we want.
Right.
And I mean, even in recent years, I think all three of us have kind of kind of backed away and gotten a little bit more choosy.
Yeah.
But I know all of us, because we've all talked about it. We all grew up in households where you didn't get a new game all the time. Like if you got anything new, you either saved up your allowance for it yourself, or it was Christmas or birthday. Like that was it.
Or
And
you
there's still
played at a
families out
cousin's
there.
house, or you traded
Yeah.
copies.
There's still families out there now that their parents can't afford new games all the time, or they're waiting. They are waiting for they're like, my friend, I know they just got it, and they're talking about, and as soon
Yeah.
as they're done playing it, I'm gonna ask to borrow it. Or, a lot of people forget, but certain libraries, public libraries, some of them have games that you
Yep.
can actually go and check out just like a book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Or a movie. Some
and
of them have Blu-ray discs.
yeah, some families need those options. You take away physical media, that's it. You're pricing all sorts of people out of your ecosystem.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a thing, man. They're literally taking away your choice to increase their control, to increase their profit, to a ecosystem where they control the price, they control the visibility. But in the past, they've had so much trouble. They've kind of started cleaning up those the eShops, the PlayStation stores of all this shovelware, but they can't stop it. They can't stop it from, constantly flooding on there.
Yeah.
And uh PlayStation hasn't earned the right either to be an all digital storefront.
They have not.
You and I have been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
And PlayStation 1 was great. PlayStation 2 was awesome. PlayStation 3 had some growing pains. The digital store was bad.
Major growing pains.
We were there for the massive PSN outage, where they apologized by giving us a few games to choose from, and you got a free game as an apology for PSN going
Digitally.
down. It was
Digital licenses.
like right, but it went down for like 2 days or something, 2 or 3 days or more.
Oh, weeks. It was like 21 days. PSN was down.
It was long.
Yep.
And
right after
they have a track record.
It was like Mag launched or Battlefield launched. There was one game, or SOCOM. Yeah. There was a first party game that launched, and it just totally killed that game because nobody played it during that window because they couldn't.
Yeah. And since then, the PS4 and even on the PS5, sometimes services go down. And the last outage, they gave us a day of PlayStation Plus added to your account.
Was it you and Cesar were trying to play, and there were server issues that
was recently the John Carpenter's Commandos.
Toxic
and
Commando.
The servers, the thing was completely down, and we couldn't play together. We couldn't form a party. We couldn't. And, if you had digital licenses and you hadn't verified them probably within the last few days, you most likely couldn't access those.
They added the DRM policy a month or so ago, that 30-day thing.
Yep. So Sony has not earned the right.
Refunds?
They have not shown any.
You have to fight tooth and nail for a refund. And if you sometimes if you even just download the game, they'll say, no, you can't. You've already downloaded it. Whereas Steam's almost getting abused on that. If a game's less than 2 hours, people can beat it and turn it in for a refund. And just no questions asked. That's abuse, but I kind of think that's few and far between. I think most people give things an honest shot. And sometimes you find out it doesn't run. So that's part of the PC thing too. We assume with a console that whatever we get is going to run, but that's not always the case. Stuff gets released broken now. So if something comes out and it's in a totally broken state and you tinker around with it for an hour or so and it just doesn't fucking work. Toxic Commando. If that was broken and you bought it to play multiplayer and you and Cesar tried for an hour and it's like, nope, you played for an hour. You can't refund this. And you're out $40-$50, right? Which again, like you said, we have a level of privilege that's probably not going to break us. We're going to be pissed. But there's others that may have saved up for that or been given a gift card from grandma or something, and that's it. and then you're fighting online, and it leads to a nightmare, and they don't
I saw
care.
somebody I saw somebody talking online about, and they've been doing this lately too with their collector's editions of things. And the person was talking about how they bought the collector's edition of Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
And they got, all the stuff in there, and then they got home and they're like, "Oh, this only has a code in here. It doesn't have the actual game."
Yeah, that one's real rich.
And they went to a midnight release, but of course some of these places do early midnight releases, so it was like 9 or 10 o'clock. He's trying to put in the code, and the code won't pop. It's not giving him the game. And he's like, "What? Maybe I entered it wrong." And he puts it in again, and it spits out another error. He's like, this is crazy." So he puts it in again, and it locks the account down
For spam
because he's trying to spam a code.
yeah.
And so he's on, because he has to call customer service, and the code, even though he has it, it doesn't go live until midnight. So he can't redeem the thing that he has physically with him. And he said he just wound up, his account was locked for um at like 24 hours or something. Like, they couldn't do anything about it, and it would just unlock by itself. And so he
Yeah.
wound up having to go back to the store the next morning and just buy a physical copy of the game. And he still has the digital code. He's like, "And I haven't used it." He goes, "But this is it. This is the old digital future that, this is what a digital storefront gets you."
I told you what last week or 2 weeks ago about Gears 4 Ultimate. Cesar and I taking off the day, and the servers just
Mhm.
bombing that co-op. I mean, that's more of a server network thing than a physical SKU, or because we had a physical copy and it downloaded. It unlocked it on our Xbox. It just server shit the bed.
Yeah,
With
but that can happen. I
connectivity,
mean, if like
you get that extra level. You get that extra fail state potentially.
those Call of Duty nights were huge, and like those release nights, I remember sometimes those lobbies would act right because there were just too many people
Right.
attacking those servers.
Right.
They would never go down, but it would take forever to get in some.
Remember that era, like late PS3, 360, early PS4, Xbox One? You would get like a
Mhm.
stress test beta, and they would just want
Yep.
people to play. They wanted people to play for free and just spam that thing and see how hard they could hit the servers to test that kind of stuff. I don't know, Brant. Playing more
Ugh,
old games.
I don't know.
I know so many people
Right.
that are ill. Friend of the show, Andrew, who I have forever known as being a PlayStation fan. Um, I think we all admire. We have a preference, whether it's something we vocalize or not, where we like to play games, whether it be that ecosystem or that online community,
Mhm.
or the pedigree of like Andrew's stories. He went to Microplay in South Lake Mall to rent
Wow.
I think it was a Jaguar. I think he was going to rent a Jaguar.
Holy crap.
And somebody was like, no, 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 you got to try this PlayStation thing, and with Resident Evil 1. And he was hooked. And so, like, even now, a lot of people, you're probably one of them, you associate Resident Evil with PlayStation. It's that brand, mind
Yep.
share, and things like that. And he's carried that through with a lot of things and been through Japan studio like us. And what he sent me a picture of last night, Metal Gear Solid graphic novel for PSP. Have you ever seen that, like, interactive
Yeah.
graphic novel, PSP SKU? And
Mhm.
he's pissed. And one of their things has been for the players, like that's been their logo, their mantra. And
Yeah,
I
and
know you've
play
seen that.
has no limits.
Play has no limits. I
That's
know
the other
you've
one.
seen that splashed around the past couple weeks.
I've
Eh,
seen it played on as people covering the no, so play has limits, or
Play has
just saying greed has no limits.
against the players instead of for the players.
Mhm.
He's hot about it. I think I might be one of those people that gets rid of
I
PlayStation Plus. I'm good through December,
so
and I know I'm going to turn off the auto renew, but I don't know what that looks like after that either. You have to vote. You have to vote with your
so
wallet. This is what they're looking at, right?
that is the thing. I don't know how, if any impact, a change.org a petition will have, but there's a petition out there that is specifically saying, for Sony not to kill physical media, and it is already over 160 some million, or no, 160,000. Sorry, not a million yet.
That's big numbers. I was
160,000
about to say that's big
signs.
numbers.
But it's
Oof.
growing like rapidly. It's insane. I thought they wouldn't think that this is a big deal, and that they could just
Oh no,
turn
that's what
off,
that's
go
why it was a
off social
3-paragraph
media.
blog post. They thought
Yeah,
this would just
and
be a standard ho-hum thing.
and yeah, and people would go, "Oh, dang, that sucks," but I guess that's the way it is now.
Time marches on. Instead,
And
people are fucking pissed.
and they will let the, let the news run its course, and a couple days later people will forget about it, and nobody's forgetting about it. It's a
No.
big deal. It is a big deal. Um and I think that they will have to make some kind of response. I don't know how they correct this response.
You either
Aside,
reverse course or you double down, and that I've seen nothing saying they're not going to double
yeah,
down. That's the way it's going to go. They're already using
aside from being,
the factory for something else.
yeah. So I don't know. I I pay for PlayStation Plus for the year. I go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went ahead today already, and I canceled the renewal. Like it doesn't run out until like the 7th of next year, January. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, that's it. I I don't care. It's whatever. And I've been with them, like I said, since the beginning.
Yeah. I've had
I
PlayStation
have a
Plus since
lot of
they
good
started also.
I have a lot of good memories from PlayStation. Um all the way from PS1, man. And but it, it's not good. It's not good for at all for anybody.
Yeah.
It only benefits them. It only benefits them.
That's it. It's not pro consumer. It's not pro retailer. It is specifically pro Sony in their most
And
profitable
that's the other,
business. PlayStation being their most
yeah.
profitable business arm of their of all of Sony Corp.
And that is the one other thing is I don't see how they don't get sued, because they have been under some uh legal attacks for a couple years, about their storefront being a monopoly
Mm-hmm.
and being locked down and everything, and they've hid behind physical disc. Like, whoa, look, you can go any of these retailers and pick up a physical disc. uh, even if you say that certain retailers you can go to and still buy a SKU, and it's a code in a box. It's like, no, because guess what? I have to go to your storefront to redeem that.
Yeah.
There's nothing driving any kind of competition
Are they
for that.
sending
So,
themselves towards some sort of legislation? Do you think they're or litigation, I guess
oh
is the
yeah,
better term. You think they
oh
just
yeah,
fast
they will.
tracked some sort of legal scrutiny?
And I mean, if anything, the whole Apple and Fortnite deal has kind of
Yep.
has been going on for a while, and it's
Like
shown that,
the publisher cut versus the platform holder, and
yeah,
who can actually be the platform holder and not.
it's shown that, like, yeah, you're sorry, Apple, you're gonna have to open up this ecosystem a little bit, like.
Mm-hmm. Can't take your cut and
So
not provide them any other way to peddle their wares.
yeah, so I
This will be the only way through
I think it's only a
PlayStation.
matter of time.
Yeah. Mm.
And I know Xbox at the same time, like Xbox, they didn't confirm that, they're also only thinking of a digital storefront in the future, but they did. There was that story that ran about the possible disc to digital conversion that they're doing, but that's only for even Xbox One titles. It's not even any legacy titles.
Right. Which was what was talked about 13 years ago at that infamous E3 with Don Matrick.
Yep.
It's exactly what they talked about, was that license being tied to that disc. But you could still at least trade the disc. You got something for moving that disc on to somebody else.
Mhm.
I don't know where this goes. I'm sure next week we'll have a massive update of some kind. There's going to be some sort of
I hope so. I hope we have a better update.
agreed. Or we'll be discussing this some more. Brant, let's talk about some old games and some acquisitions.
Let's talk about games played.
We
Let's
played
move on
some
to something better.
played some old video games with some old friends. Via the
Yes.
beauty of backwards compatibility, via the Xbox Series X and like immaculate 4K 60 frames per second playback, we all got a round of Gears of War 2 Horde mode in on the river map. Me, yourself, Cesar, friend of the show Buish, and friend of the show Charles all got on there, and I think Cesar was going to push that one from Twitch to YouTube. We'll reach out to him tomorrow sometime and see what he thinks. But we played all the way through on Horde. We played level 1 through 50 with some hiccups here and there, and some absolute gym hijinks. Shields. I sent friend of the show. I played back that scene in 1989, the Tim Burton Batman of him running away like around the corner. Shields when it's him and Kim Basinger running, and he locks down the Batmobile.
Yep.
Really good claymation scene. But yeah, we would round up shields in the like 18 or 28 or 38, 39, getting ready for those blood mounts in the 20s, 30s, and 40s because they were coming. And it worked for the most part. We had some success. God, that was so much fun. We played for what, 3.5 hours, or a little over 3 to 3.5 hours, and just had an absolute blast. In one round, everyone was dead except Cesar, and he had one Theron guard that he was up against. So I was the ghost camera flying around. Here comes the Theron guard running across the bridge. And I'm like, Cesar, this is all you got. You just got to take out this one guy. And he downs him, but as he downs him, the torque bow fires off at Cesar, and they both drop, and we're staring at the screen, and it's like wave failed. And we just all died laughing as you heard that torque bow like, and it was sitting at Cesar's feet and downed him, and nobody's there to pick him up. So that wave failed before that guy he downed the Theron guard. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I may see if I can put that up on our Instagram. See if I can compress that video just a little bit. God, that was so good. I've never hours and hours and hours of Gears of War 2 and never seen that happen. I unlocked the Party Like It's 1999 achievement, which I've been working on since 2008. Play 1,999 rounds of multiplayer, and I knocked that out.
Oh my gosh.
I knocked that out while we were playing Saturday night, was that round, I believe?
Yeah.
Of the hijinks. And that was so much fun. I see us playing. We played Friday night as well, but did we stream that one, or was that just us messing around?
I think we did stream that as well.
Yeah. Then we told Buish about it, and then we roped him into that next one. Because I think it was just me, you, and Cesar that Friday night.
And friend of the show Uno.
And friend of the show Uno was on there with us, getting the hang of some Gears of War 2.
Yep. And then we jumped and did a couple rounds of Old Man Halo.
Played some Old Man Halo at the end of that. That's right. Old games are good games, even something that feels as recent or I don't know, Gears of War 2 still to me doesn't feel like a retro game, but I think it does qualify.
I think it would, unfortunately, qualify.
It does. They've just done a good job
as much as we don't want it to.
They've done a good job of making it accessible, and that disc you buy for eBay off of eBay for $5 to $10 works on your Series X or your 1X or your 1S or your 1. It just works,
and it will be the best version of that game.
It will. They've done a great job with that, and if rumors that I've seen of that coming back are true, that would be wonderful boost for preservation and buying discs and all that. Who would have thought Microsoft would be the vanguard of physical media at this point, potentially? We don't know that for sure. They cut that off a while back, but that would it seems like when they need a goodwill gesture, they remind us like, hey, remember when Xbox was good? We could do that again. Here's some of those games you enjoyed. We're not coming up with new stuff, but here's those games you enjoyed. I have a few acquisitions. It's heavier more than anything. So I'm on this the James Bond kick, right? I went back to playing this, and I'll touch on it here. I'll do a brief segue. But I thought I was bidding on a copy of James Bond 007 Everything or Nothing for the GameCube along with the guide. And I won this for a very good deal. And then the next day I get a message and it was like, hey, were you bidding on the game or the guide? What exactly were you after? And I looked at the description, like the posting and all that, and I was like, it looks like both to me. That's what I was after. It turns out I didn't. This is a surplus copy. I didn't need another copy of this. Brandon, I don't know if you can see this. This is like the EB stickers. Like we had to put all these different.
Yep.
This is the company I used to work for. But it ended up being there was even more stickers after this that you would have to do.
Gosh.
So I messaged him and I was like, hey, well, I actually do have the game. So it's really the guide I was after because that's what I was hunting. It just happened to both be in the listing. And he's like, nope, you know what? I'm shipping you both. That's what was pictured and everything. So they're both yours. And I even replied, like I went and checked my collection. I was like, oh, okay, wait. I really just need the guide. So maybe we can cut, we split half or whatever and we work out something. And he's like, no, I already shipped it. And that was what's in the listing. So you're good. So I got two, I needed the guide, but I got
Awesome.
007 Everything or Nothing for the GameCube as well. This is one with not Pierce Brosnan. It's actually got Pierce Brosnan in it. And Shannon Elizabeth and Heidi Klum. And this is the one where Willem Dafoe is the bad guy. This is like the third person. And it's got a co-op mode. This will be a lot of fun co-op.
There you go.
I went thrifting this weekend, Brant. It's where I buy my games these days. Thrift stores or secondhand. I was thumbing through the periodicals as one does. And believe it or not, they had a bunch of Game Informer issues. And so these are probably like 2017, 2018. I shouldn't hold that up. It's got the person's address on it, but I don't know who this person is. But it's like the first Senua game and Lost Legacy, Uncharted, Assassin's Creed Origins, Top 100 RPGs by Game Informer, which is a kind of a controversial list. Like they've got all sorts of games in here. I wouldn't consider RPGs specifically.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X is number 35 on this list, according to Game Informer.
Wow.
I know. I'm trying to find one of the ones that Dark Souls, number 24. Top 100 RPGs of all time. Dark Souls, number 24. Kingdom Hearts, number 25. Action RPG. I guess it's just, it encompasses everything.
Technically, yeah.
Ultima Online is number 17. Secret of Mana is number 16. I love Secret of Mana, but is it Final Fantasy X worthy? Number one game of all, World of Warcraft is number 6, I think that is.
Warcraft.
Your top 3 are Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, and number 1 RPG of all time is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. These action RPGs kind of mess up this list.
Yeah.
Also there, I discovered, and this is actually surplus. I have one of these too, but I feel like when you find them, you can't pass them up. The official Brady Games Take Your Game Further guide for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for the Sony PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. We always like stuff like this, Brant. Whoever gave this to Savers, there's a Savers that I have access to, which is way nicer than a Goodwill. Have you ever been in Savers?
I have not.
This is the only one I've ever been in. So imagine a Goodwill, but like there's an actual video game section and you're not just looking through DVDs and CDs and stuff. And then like when you go into books, like this was in the computer section of books, and they'll have religion and spirituality and cookbooks, and like they have the genres broken down in books, and it's like super clean, super well labeled.
Somebody actually goes through and labels them and not just throws everything on a shelf.
It's curated because we went to a Goodwill after this, and I was like, This is drastically different from going to Savers. But it was only $4, and I didn't look at my collection list. I was like, let me go ahead and jump on this. But we like when stuff like this happens. I'll have to describe it for the audio listeners. But someone has put tabs in here, like sticky notes, breaking out the chapters in the campaign. And we've talked about stuff like this, like on rental discs and stuff like that, and finding cheat codes maybe like tucked in the liner notes. Like I used to try to clean it up. Like let's make it look like how I would have gotten it if I bought it brand new and stuff like that. But I've learned to really appreciate how this came from someone else enjoying it. Again, the community aspect of like, man, this Brant, I just played this. You got to try this Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's fucking awesome. And you can tell that I enjoyed this before I gave it to you. And here's, I thought this was important. And when I loaned you this book, you went through, it's got chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. Odd Jobs is like in the middle. So I guess you tabbed to that, and it's got the different odd jobs that are in here. It's not the villain from GoldenEye is not in here. Technically Goldfinger, the movie, but Odd Job is infamous for being hard to kill in GoldenEye for the N64.
Yes.
The cheat character, because
you're cheating if you choose Odd Job.
Shorter than everybody else. Yeah, but this is actually my second. I've got another, probably the one I bought when it came out. Because I got this. I worked at the store the week this came out, but I couldn't work. I was just hanging out. And I was helping people find stuff and bagging things and stuff like that. But I wasn't on the clock. Then I turned 18 the week before Halo 2 came out. And then I could sell Halo 2 because it was an M-rated game. And that company wouldn't hire you unless you were 18 at the time. So, and it has you don't find this a lot. And I know you look for this when you buy guides, but it's actually got the map still in the back of it that hasn't been and I don't even mind, like, if it's not in there. This book's almost 20 years old at this point, so that's not a big deal. Or if they've torn it out and used it and then like tucked it back in there, so like the perforation is torn. But these are becoming more and more, like we talked about earlier, these are becoming more and more important, I think, as just landmarks in games and how people enjoyed games. It's important. And the lady asked me about the magazine. She was like, why do you want these old magazines? And my wife was there, and she's laughing. She's like, I don't know. He just she can't even defend my stance, right? Well, he's like, what are you gonna do? Just put them on a shelf? And I think it was the 100 RPGs issue, and I was just noting, like, so these ads, these are for games that aren't available anymore, or they may not have ever come out in certain circumstances. There's previews in here of games that didn't come out. This is kind of the 2017, 2018 is when we start getting like Agents of Mayhem. Did that ever come out? Deep Silver and Volition? Like there's a preview for this that I don't even know came out. Dauntless. It's like a Monster Hunter type multiplayer game. Like this was that crux of those multiplayer type things that people were chasing that didn't come out. And then I was thumbing through Dragon Quest 11 in Search of Departed Time. That wasn't even the subtitle for that game. It's called something else. So someone went to a preview event and wrote up what they saw of this game at that time, and it's in this. And it may not be anywhere else. If you look up about that game on Wikipedia, you're not getting this information. And it just, I'm sure she was like, sir, I've given you your total. Please just pay for these magazines. I regret everything. I regret ever having brought up the fact that I asked you what you're doing with these magazines.
It's about those magazines capture a very particular snapshot in time.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've gone through some, because I've got a few gaming magazines up here, and it's like you said, it's really neat to just go through them and see like what people were looking forward to and how they would show things off. Or I think one of the last ones I went through, it was, it was showing like previews for the next Halo coming out, and how you could pre-order Crackdown. Get the Halo
beta access. Yep.
There were previews and tips and tricks to, be better and just like even what you're saying, just like the advertisements and the previews of certain things and seeing how they changed. I know I think it might be a just like PlayStation branded magazine.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure one of them up there has the silver PS3 in it with the boomerang
Ah,
controller and like
yeah.
that, and it's like that we never got that realization, you
Nope.
know. that that boomerang controller never saw the light of day. It was only at certain preview events, and
Yeah.
like you could
Multiple
explain that to
HDMI,
somebody.
multiple HDMI outputs on that
Oh
system,
yeah.
and different memory card slots, even more so than we got in that launch 60 gig model, and just all sorts of stuff that changes. And
Mhm.
those footprints are gone unless somebody has this magazine or backs it up. And they're important footnotes, I feel, even still. I'll touch on two games. I started Prince of Persia: Sands of Time again. I'm an hour into it. It's like 15% of the way through the game, I think. It's kind of a quick play. And I sent you a screenshot. It's fucking gorgeous on PS2. I don't know what it is. I always assumed over the years, ever when I had the option of buying these brand new, right? I either got the GameCube or Xbox version because I just knew they were the better looking ones. They looked better. They had a higher polygon
Mhm.
count. They maybe had a higher frame rate, that sort of stuff. The PS2 does something with fog and rain and atmosphere that the other two cannot touch, and I do not have the technical know-how to nail down what that is. But having played a couple games across those and watched comparisons and like the HD ports compared to these older ones and everything, like Metal Gear Solid 2, they've never gotten that tanker rain scene properly. Blue Point couldn't do it on
Mhm.
PS3, PS4, Vita. Xbox couldn't do it on that port of Metal Gear Solid 2. There's something about this hardware, and on a CRT, it truly shines. And it's not antiquated or ancient or anything. They're just good ass video games. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, absolutely phenomenal. Enjoying every second of it. Even when I die or rewind time and have to do something over, absolutely loving it. I have reached a combat point that I cannot beat. This is what did I say about Medal of Honor Frontline? I said this is my Dark Souls. Um,
Yep.
there's a villain called the Sand King, and it's an hour in. And if you have never played this before, Brant, please catch up to where I'm at. It will not take you long. I cannot beat this segment. You just get bum rushed. The combat is good one on one in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. If you get clustered with enemies like you get with this boss battle, it's just totally unmanageable. And I don't know. There's points where I'm like, I don't know if I'll beat this. And another problem on top of this, the save points have been easy to get to. The checkpoints I feel have been spaced out appropriately. And if you die on this battle, you start right at the start of the battle, right? But there's no
Yeah.
save point. So I essentially Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is lots of platforming. So it's a lot of parkour, uh, like wrapping around a flagpole that's sticking out and jumping from there, and
Mhm.
then timing a wall jump over to another jump, and then dropping down, and then jumping across another wall, and going up and over, and going past some blades. Like it's a platforming parkour adventure, and there's nothing else like it. And I still think there's not really been anything since then. They're like miniature levels. It's a 2D 3D game. It's really done well in
Mhm.
its execution and layout of bringing Prince of Persia forward. I would argue almost like a Metroid or a Metroid Prime or a Super Mario 64 or something. It's a great realization of that classic formula going forward. But there's no save point between a long section of the platforming and the boss battle. So I turned it off. I couldn't beat the boss. I probably tried 5 or 6 times. And there's also another sub character in the same area that you have to keep alive. And I haven't been able to do that. Even
Oh.
when I stayed alive trying to kill those things, the person that was helping me got killed. And I was like, this isn't for me right now. I'm not having fun. And I'm to the point, age, everything where I just turn it off. I'm not having fun. There's a billion
Yeah.
things trying to get my attention and make me have fun, right? And back to the I don't need Dragon Quest 12 because I haven't beat 1 through 11. There's other Prince of Persia games. I can play another one in the same franchise and move on. Almost got to the same way with the Bond games. So I cut it off, and I was like, how far back? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that save point, and it's exactly there. And I've gotten good at the platforming. I could get there, but it's an investment of knowing like probably 7 to 8 minutes before I even get to that boss battle if I want to try it again. And that might be my cutoff. And I've read online, there's a lot of people are like, fuck the Sand King. This apparently is like, it's the first boss in the game. Apparently this is the boss.
Really?
It's like, yeah, you get past this and you're good. Like, I've got all the core mechanics down. I'm doing great with the combat, but these things just swamp you. And knockback on like NES games like Mega Man, you jump and something from off screen hits you, and then you fall into a pit, or Castlevania. Do. So these things will get you down, and it's almost like being juggled in a fighting game. There's no roll, get out of it. And the Sands of Time allow you to oh yeah, they're just whooping your ass on the ground. They get you down on the ground, and by that time there's like 4 or 5 of these things, and that's it. And you could try to rewind with the sand to get out of where you first fucked up and got caught up in this pattern of abuse. And if you run out of sand, that's just it. And there's 2 stages to this boss fight, and I haven't even completed the first stage. So, and I've got a platform to get to this. The other one, a positive note, I went back to 007 Agent Under Fire. Again, a 2-part level where I had beat the first part and then could not finish the second part, and it was just bullshit that was happening. Essentially, almost like some moments in Medal of Honor Frontline, where you have to pull off a thing at the right time, or you just fail that part. And the first part of the mission involves you driving around. You've got to pick up like a chip for R, who is the successor to Q, and I could do that, and then you get the little Bond loading thing, and you're like, okay, I can save and quit. And you go into the next bit, and it just starts you. And it's like, okay, if I fail this, am I going to have to do that again? Yes, you do. So it's a tank driving mission. But if you get to the very end of it, and it's probably like a 5 to 8 minute mission, I would say, kind of like the platforming, getting to that boss. And then there's 2 tanks that are shooting at you, consistently taking your health down. And there's a rail car above that. And one of the rail cars is explosive. And you basically just have to time one of these blasts. You have to lead the shot, essentially, to blow up that gas car to take out the 2 tanks. That's the only way. You can't shoot them. So I have the guide. I had to look it up because I was trying to shoot them with various chain guns and all that. And if you fail, you're back to the start. Not all the way to the car mission, but back to the start of the tank mission. And I was like, man, this sucks. And I did this, 2 weeks ago, I think. And I was like, I don't know if I'm coming back to this game. It's just, it's of an era. They padded this out. It was meant to be, you would rent this for 2 or 3 days and get to this part, and then you would come back to it, right? And you'd hope to have fresh eyes. I looked it up in the guide. They say you have to take that thing out. I did it as soon as I read that, I did it on the first try, right?
Heck yeah.
Congratulations, James. Take the M's telling me, congratulations, James. Take the data chip to R. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And the tank rolls over, and then I'm at the start of the level again. And I'm on the same tank mission, and I'm like, is this the same? Like, that's the same bridge. If I go around here, there's a helicopter. Yep, there's a helicopter. Okay, this is a scripted part where the tank like rolls into a museum and it goes through the stained glass. Yep, that's there. It rebooted the level. It didn't pass me through to the end. I started again. I paused the game. I'm watching soccer on my other TV. I paused the game because I'm celebrating. Like, I beat this level. I'm celebrating. Did I text you at that point? No, it was once I finally finished it. And I'm like, I'm doing this again. What did I hit start? Did I like accidentally tell it, do you want to play this? The owl in Ocarina of Time. It's like, do you want to hear this again? It defaults you to yes, and you click it and you do it again. I was like, oh, I fucked this up. And so I'm on pins and needles again, going through the same level that I've played like 5 or 6 times. But I was like, okay, swap the chain gun to the missile launcher. You go around that last corner, shoot that thing. You did that. And I go rolling forward again. And then it goes into a cutscene that I've never seen. I'm like, I'm good. It glitched out and put me back in the same level. I could not believe that it did that to me. But I played it immediately through, no load, immediately through that second time. And I got the cutscene and I beat that level. And I saved it. And I think that's when I text you. I was like, I put the controller down. I was like, let it play through the cutscene. I don't even care what happens to James Bond in the cutscene. Please, God, just let me get through this and save it. And I played a couple levels after that with no issue. Like it's back to that momentum. And my brother, I think I mentioned this to you after Frontline. My brother said those old campaigns, they have that one level that you're just stuck on and you just sit on that and you cannot get past it. And then you do, and it picks up that same, maybe that's how it gets the bites in you. But man, I finally got past that point. So Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, man, I don't know. I'm loving so much about it. I have to decide if that's worth that investment of trying to beat that Sand King part. And look, I challenge you, look it up. Either play through that. Do you have a copy of the game on anything?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got it on the PlayStation 2 behind me.
An hour. That's what I'm playing it on, and it's fucking gorgeous. Hook it up to that gorgeous Toshiba CRT. Play some Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Play for an hour. You'll be hooked, and you'll get to the Sand King, and let me know if you get to that same part. Or Google it and look it up, because there's tons of people that are like, fuck this part. I'm rage quitting. I'm never getting past this part. And I'll go to something else. But I do want to see it through, because everything else is like Mount Rushmore of games worthy good. It's so much fun. So well written. Great music. Great platforming. Just a video game that we all enjoy and want more of now. And like the reboot got canceled, right? So what is this franchise now to anybody that doesn't know about this or have an older sibling or a parent that's exposing them to it? So that's my rant about old games and purchasing old games after we ranted about new games and purchasing new games. Hand it off to you, Brant.
Aside from playing some Old Man Halo and some Old Man Gears 2.
Old Man Gears with an old man. The trifecta.
I haven't really been playing that much. I've been going through. I've still got my my handheld. My RG was it Ambernick RG Vita.
Excellent. Excellent.
I ran through Crash Bandicoot 1, Crash Bandicoot 2. I'm about halfway through Crash Bandicoot 3, just popping retro achievements.
Yeah.
Just old games, man. There's something about
they did it right.
How fun, how simplistic.
And they should be accessible to people today. People should have an option to pay for these games if they want to.
Yes. But you can currently buy those on the 3 storefront for the next year,
and I will probably be purchasing some here and there. I will continue to comb through there.
I don't know. At this point, I'm not giving. I will buy the games that I want to buy.
Yeah.
Still left on my PS, whatever comes out in the next couple years for PS5.
Right.
If I want the game for PS5. Otherwise, I think I've already bought a lot of stuff on that Vita and PS3 storefront. Anything else? I'm not giving them another dime, man.
Okay.
And if I need to, I can always buy another. I've always wanted to mess around with a PS3 Slim or Super Slim and maybe get one of those, figure out what the modding process looks like on that thing. Throw a good sized hard drive in that bad boy, and
I actually depending on the investment you want to put into it, I have a donor fat PS3 that you can mess with. It does not update. It does not get past an update, and the error code that it throws is because every time the PS3 system firmware updates, I did a deep dive on this, it goes through a system check. There are certain things that it has to pass in order to finish that update. So this one bombs every time, and the error code is the Bluetooth module. So infamously, they would go out on certain PS3s. So if you get to the point where you want to deep dive into tinkering around with figuring out how to replace that Bluetooth module on this thing, it is yours. If you get to that level and you want to mess around with it, there are less obtrusive ways to get a hold of a PS3 and mess with, but that is always an option for you.
I saw a PS3 PS3 Slim today that was like $25, but they were selling it as parts.
I wonder what's wrong with
Literally,
that.
they said that the system turns on but will not like stays like it boots up but then does not stay on. And deep diving into that, like part of it is like, oh, it could be the power supply, or it could be a short in one of the USB um plugs, or it could be overheating, or and then like I go into Reddit on certain things and somebody
Mhm.
else is having that issue and they're like, oh, you need to go into here and into this debug setting and do the LED. There's like an LED um diagnostic you can do where like the LED flashes, I guess, some kind of binary code, and you take that binary code and convert it to a different code. And somebody was having that issue,
Interesting. I've
and
read
they were
about the
like,
power supplies on the
they were
Slim.
like,
That's a
could be a
culprit.
motherboard issue.
Oh yeah.
And then like that particular person, they're like, yeah, you like the Slims and the Super Slims, they had certain motherboard issues. Like you basically
Mhm.
got the yellow light of death on that machine. They didn't
Mhm.
yellow light, they just died.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I spend $25? Do I gamble?
That's where
But
that's where
like,
we are with
is it
PS3s right now, is that
easy?
they're so obtainable. You're in that it's not it wouldn't be like getting a Neo Geo and trying to figure out what's wrong with it, right?
Mhm.
It would be easier just to get another PS3. It's not easier just to get another
Right.
Neo Geo. It might be worth trying to swap some caps or swap the power supply, that
Yeah.
sort of thing, or put a new laser in there. It's just not the case, right? 160 million PS2s out there. Was it
Yep.
85 or 90 million PS3s? Like they sold
Yeah, something like that.
way
A lot.
less PS3s and 360s than PS2s, but there's still a shit ton of those out there. So you can either find a donor console or just another one that just works. And I think I've done that a
Yep.
couple times with I bought that PS4 not that long ago for some reason. I don't know if I thought, hey, I could fix it before looking up the error code or what, but it's sitting there. It's on the back of my mind.
Yeah, but that's all I've been doing.
That's it. Your acquisitions are coming
Now that
next
you
week, right?
Yeah, I should have at least one or two acquisitions come in. I don't know if all of the things will be in,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've got some stuff coming.
Time will tell. Man, I want you to play Prince of Persia. It's really fucking good, Brant.
I'm definitely going to. It's been on my list for a very, very
It's only an hour. It'll take you an hour to get to this point, and I just want to know if I'm being unreasonable or if my because here's my barometer because I was so good at the cadence of combat up to this point, I wasn't being hurt. Any combat
yeah.
encounter, I was defeating. Like Wind Waker, when you get the flip over them, roll, roll around, strike them from behind, you can get so good at that Wind Waker flow of combat, and this has it's got a very similar feel of that. And you just don't make a mistake, and these things just whoop your ass. And I'm like, fuck this part. To the point where I wish I could drop a difficulty or skip or just anything to just get past
Yeah.
this point and keep the game going. I don't care. All right, these were the enemies. This is what they do to you. That's neat. Let's just beat this thing and go on, and let me see what's after this and keep going, sort of deal. Hey, maybe they fix it on PS3. Maybe that's one of the things, like the atmosphere is not supposed to be as great, but I could play it in 3D, and maybe they fixed the fucking Sand King because he's a bitch. Oh, time will tell. Sands of time will tell. All right, is that it for us, Brant?
That's it for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.